Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to Sector for Nerds. I'm Ryan Brower, and today I'm here to talk with you guys about what you need to know before watching Star Wars The Bad Batch. Hopefully you guys have subscribed to the channel, and if you haven't, then make sure you do so, because I'm going to be talking about each and every episode of Star Wars The Bad Batch as soon as they are released. And currently, I'm putting out videos discussing the current episodes of the Falcon and Winter Soldier series. I did the same with WandaVision, I'm going to be doing the same with Loki, and of course, for Bad Batch as well. So make sure you guys are subscribed if you haven't already. I also do a lot of reaction videos as well. So much to look forward to here on this channel. Alright guys, let's get into the 5 main things that you need to know before watching The Bad Batch. And they don't rank in any specific order, I just kind of wrote them down. It's not really in any kind of order of like, oh, you need to know this above anything else. But these are just kind of 5 main points that, you know, for people who may not be as fluent with Star Wars, need to know. So I am going to be throwing around some spoilers when it comes to things, but I also want you guys to be able to check out the content that I'm going to tell you to check out as well, especially because I just feel like it's crucial for you to do so, and me telling you things will obviously be able to help put things in perspective for you, but being able to watch it is also another thing. So first up, you will need to know what the inhibitor chips are. The inhibitor chips are something that we learn about in Clone Wars that were planted into the clones to make them do whatever someone wants, and that's the whole explanation behind the clones turning on Order 66. It's not that they were in on the plot, they had no choice but to go along with the plot. You can learn more about these chips by watching the Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 6 episodes 1 through 4. The next big thing you'll need to know about, which is kind of a direct tie-in to the inhibitor chips, is Order 66. Now I know most of you who are watching this video probably know what Order 66 is, but for some who may not be too familiar with it, it's the order given to the clones to wipe out the Jedi. Now we've seen Order 66 on screen in Revenge of the Sith, Jedi Fallen Order, and Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 7. You can also read about Order 66 in certain books and comics. I know that Kanan Jarrus The Last Padawan comic has some Order 66 stuff in there. Next up, you will need to know who Saw Gerrera is, because Saw Gerrera we see in the Bad Batch trailer, who ironically I didn't catch the first time watching it on my reaction video. But regardless, Saw Gerrera was in there. We know he's going to be in the show, so you kind of got to know a little bit about this guy's story. So kind of where we're at in the timeline here. This obviously takes place after Clone Wars, and in Clone Wars, we see him on Onderon forming this rebel movement to try and take back his planet. One of my favorite arcs in the entire Clone Wars, may I point out. So in this show, we're going to start to see the transition between the Saw Gerrera that we get in Clone Wars, and we start seeing him go towards the person that we see in Rebels, which is kind of a mixture between Clone Wars Saw and Rogue One Saw. And Rogue One Saw is just the guy who's just like lost faith in everything when it comes to the rebellion, and just, you know, him going to such extreme measures to try and get victories over the Empire. Now, at the end of Clone Wars, in the final arc, Siege of Mandalore, we do hear from Anakin and Obi-Wan talking a little bit about Saw Gerrera and the fact that there was a siege at Onderon. You know, when the Clone Wars was going and the Separatists launched their massive offensive against the Republic in the Outer Rim worlds, and that hence the name of the Outer Rim sieges, because then the Republic had to come in and take back all of these planets. So I'm very interested in seeing if we're going to get any, you know, snippets of what happened during the siege at Onderon, like whether that's going to have an influence on the story or not. We know that, according to Saw in Rebels, that he lost his planet to the Empire, so very curious if we're going to be going to Onderon, if we're going to be seeing him on other planets, what kind of status he'll be in with the rebellion at this point. Now that I'm thinking about it as well, I wonder if we're going to see Lux Bonteri at all, because he was a part of that rebel movement on Onderon as well. Next up, you will need to know who Fennec Shand is, and Fennec Shand being a bounty hunter that we meet in The Mandalorian, which takes place after Return of the Jedi. We know that she was killed on Tatooine, or supposedly killed, until Boba Fett ended up saving her. So this is going to be the time, like, this is going to be years before any of that happens. So I'm very curious to see where her story is, and obviously knowing Fennec Shand may not be of too much importance when it comes to the Clone Wars, but to be able to have that connection of knowing her from The Mandalorian, I think could help with watching The Bad Batch. We also know that Ming-Na Wen is going to be coming back to reprise her role as the character, Ming-Na Wen's gonna have a pretty busy year, because not only is she gonna be voicing Fennec for the Bad Batch, but Fennec is also gonna be making a return in the Boba Fett show. Very excited to see more Fennec Shand. And finally, you should watch Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 7. Granted, you should really watch the whole show if you haven't already, but watching Season 7 is probably going to be the utmost importance if you're looking to kind of, you know, get in some information last minute, because you may not have time to binge the whole series at this point. So watching Season 7 could be a good priority, because in that season, you not only get to meet the Bad Batch in the first 4 episodes, but then you also get to see Rex in there as well. You get to see some episodes with Ahsoka, and then you get to see the Siege of Mandalore, which has, you know, a story about both Ahsoka and Rex. And I think it's crucial for you guys to know their stories, especially because we're gonna see Rex in the Bad Batch, and I guarantee you that Ahsoka will most likely be in there as well. Even though they didn't show Ahsoka in the trailer and there's no confirmation that she's gonna be in the show, I predict that she will be in the show, considering that Rex is there as well, and we never got to see how the two of them separate in the Clone Wars. So maybe this arc will tell that story, or maybe they'll already be separated and Rex will just have to tell us that story. So there you have it, guys. Those are the main things that you need to know before watching Star Wars The Bad Batch. I'm very excited for this show, you guys. Once again, make sure you guys are staying tuned on my channel, as I'm going to be having discussions about every single episode of Star Wars The Bad Batch as soon as they are released. So make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, share this video around as it really helps support the channel, and I will see you guys next time.
This is the way.